10 coolest underground cities and tunnels to explore here is something that might blow your mind. There are entire cities hidden beneath our feet. And no, we are not talking about basements or subway systems. Some of these underground spaces are complex, centuries-old civilizations carved deep into rock, complete with homes, temples, water systems, and escape tunnels. In fact, some of the world's most elaborate urban planning took place beneath the surface, often out of necessity, whether it was to escape war, endure extreme climates, or conduct secret rituals. Today, exploring these places offers a surreal glimpse into how humans have used the underground not just to hide, but to survive, thrive, and innovate. So, let's head below the surface, literally, and dive into the 10 coolest underground cities and tunnel systems you can still explore today. Derinkuyu, Turkey. Beneath the unassuming plains of central Turkey lies Derinkuyu, a jaw-dropping underground city that once sheltered up to 20,000 people. Yes, you heard that right, 20,000. With over 18 levels carved into volcanic rock, Derinkuyu features living quarters, churches, stables, ventilation shafts, and even schools. Built thousands of years ago and expanded over time, it was a safe haven during invasions and religious persecution. Today, it is open to tourists, though only a handful of levels are accessible due to safety concerns and preservation efforts. The tunnels can get incredibly narrow and steep, so if you are claustrophobic or not great with tight spaces, consider yourself warned. Montreal's Riso, Canada Hospital. At first glance, downtown Montreal is all glass towers and European charm, but underneath it hides Riso, one of the largest underground complexes in the world. Spanning over 20 miles of tunnels, this subterranean labyrinth connects shopping centers, hotels, office buildings, metro stations, and universities. Built to help locals survive the city's harsh winters, Riso has essentially become a second city. The catch? It is so big, it is easy to get lost. Navigating it without a map or without understanding French can feel like a maze. But it is also incredibly practical. Imagine running errands, going to class, grabbing lunch, and commuting home without once stepping into the freezing snow. Seattle Underground, United States beneath it. The lively sidewalks of Seattle lies the original city, now partially buried and eerily preserved after the Great Seattle Fire of 1889. When the city rebuilt, they raised the streets and left the old storefronts below. Today, you can take guided tours through these forgotten passages and see crumbling brick walls, decaying staircases, and eerie remnants of the past. It is equal parts historical tour and urban ghost story. But here is the spooky twist. Legend has it these tunnels are haunted. People have reported strange sounds, shadows, and cold spots, especially near the old opium dens and gambling rooms. And the Serpent of the Irish Sea, held after escaping from the woods at noon. Edinburgh Vaults, Scotland. Dark, damp, and dripping with history, the Edinburgh Vaults are a hidden network of chambers under South Bridge in Scotland's capital. Built in the 1700s, they were used for storage, workshops, and even illegal pubs, until things took a darker turn. As poverty worsened, the vaults became overcrowded slums, and eventually, hideouts for criminals and black market traders. Today, they are one of the city's most haunted spots, with ghost tours guiding visitors through candlelit corridors and chilling tales of murder and mystery. But make no mistake, it is not for the faint-hearted. The air is musty, the ceiling's low, and the atmosphere incredibly intense. Wielicka Salt Mine, Poland. What do you get when you combine hundreds of miles of tunnels, intricate chandeliers made from salt crystals, and an underground cathedral? You get Independence Highway. What is one of the few underground cathedrals that has the Wielicka Salt Mine in Poland? A UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of the most beautiful subterranean spaces on Earth. Originally opened in the 13th century, the mine operated for over 700 years, and today it is a tourist destination that feels more like a fantasy movie set. The sheer craftsmanship of the chapels, sculptures, and staircases carved entirely from salt is mind-blowing. But it is not all sparkles and history. Because of its depth, the air is cool and damp, and walking the full tour involves lots of stairs. Beijing Underground City, China. Most tourists to Beijing focus on the Forbidden City or the Great Wall, but few know about the Cold War-era bunker that sprawls beneath the city streets. Built during the 1970s as a fallout shelter in case of nuclear attack, Beijing's underground city could once house up to 1 million people. It had everything: dormitories, schools, theaters, and even hair salons. Although most of it is now closed to the public, small sections are still accessible through unofficial tours. However, these tours are not government-sanctioned and often exist in a legal gray area. So if you are planning to visit, proceed with caution. Coober Pedy, Australia. If you think living underground is extreme, wait until you visit Coober Pedy, a remote Australian town where most of the population actually lives below ground. Known as the opal capital of the world, Coober Pedy gets so scorching in the summer that residents have carved out homes, churches, and even hotels in old opal mines to escape the heat. These dugouts maintain a cool, livable temperature year-round, and many are surprisingly luxurious. But make no mistake, living here is not easy. Supplies are limited, the terrain is harsh, and the closest major city is hours away. Still, it is one of the most unique communities on Earth, offering visitors a truly off-the-grid experience. Paris Catacombs, France. Beneath the romantic streets of Paris lies something far darker. Literally millions of human bones stacked neatly in a subterranean ossuary known as the Paris Catacombs. Built in the late 1700s to solve the city's overflowing cemeteries, the tunnels were repurposed into a sprawling underworld of skulls, femurs, and ancient graffiti. Today, only a small portion is open to the public, but that has not stopped urban explorers from venturing into the illegal sections known as the quarries, which stretch over 200 miles. Wandering these pitch-black maze-like corridors without a guide is not just illegal, it is dangerous. Naples underground, Italy. Naples is chaotic, beautiful, and steeped in history. But did you know that right beneath its cobblestone streets lies a vast labyrinth of ancient aqueducts, catacombs, and even remnants of Roman roads? Known as Napoli Sotterranea, this underground world dates back over 2,400 years and includes bomb shelters from World War II, secret tunnels used by rebels, and caverns that once supplied the entire city with water. Today, you can walk guided tours that feel like time travel, revealing layers of history built on top of one another. The narrow passageways and low ceilings make it a tight fit, so it is not for the claustrophobic. Setenil de las Bodegas, Spain's Setenil de las Bodegas, might look like a picturesque Spanish village, until you realize half the town is built directly into massive rock overhangings. Homes, cafes, and shops are tucked beneath natural rock formations that act like roofs, creating an underground meets outdoor vibe that is both cozy and surreal. This unusual architecture was not just for aesthetics, it provided insulation from the heat and cold long before air conditioning was an option. The biggest risk here is neck strain, from constantly craning up to admire the giant slabs of rock hovering over your head. While not fully underground in the traditional sense, this town earns its place on the list for blending human habitation so seamlessly with nature. If you loved this journey through the hidden layers of history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more mind-blowing travel and history content, and drop a comment to tell us which underground location you would love to explore. And hey, if you know of a tunnel or underground world we missed, let us know. Share this video with your fellow adventurers, and we will see you next time, somewhere deep below the surface.